Hello everyone. Another video, which means another platinum trophy. And I've been waiting for this game ever since it was first announced. Monster Hunter Wilds. I love Monster Hunter World, including the Iceborne expansion. I had over 800 hours that I put into World, and I say that not to brag, because I know there are people with way more than that, but I'm just saying that's how much I enjoyed that game, and why I was excited for Wilds. Getting into the main topic, Monster Hunter Wilds has 49 trophies needed for the platinum. There are some miscellaneous trophies for things like fishing, catching endemic life, and getting some somewhat rare collectibles. But as I'm sure you can imagine, a majority of the trophies involve hunting monsters. To be specific, there are two gold trophies that I knew had to be my main focus, which were Miniature Crown Master and Giant Crown Master, which required me to find and hunt monsters that were the smallest or biggest they could be, and their sizes are indicated by either a mini gold crown or a giant gold crown. There's also silver crowns, but they don't matter. They're literally kind of pointless. I don't know why they're in the game. Now originally I was dreading how long getting all the gold crowns is going to take me, because they're notoriously very grindy trophies that have been in all the most recent Monster Hunter games, like World, Rise, and now Wilds. I know how grindy it can be because I got the platinum trophy for Monster Hunter World. But in World, they eventually released event quests that made hunting for specific monster crowns easier. However, with Wilds being a new game, it doesn't have those quests yet, and to my surprise, it might not even need them. What I thought was going to be the most tedious and grindy part of this trophy adventure wasn't that bad at all. In fact, as strange as it might sound, I really had a lot of fun crown hunting. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a bit of a grind, but thanks to the binoculars that can actually show whether or not a monster does or doesn't have a gold crown, made it way easier. The method for hunting gold crowns is pretty simple. There's a location called the Wounded Hollow, where only one monster will spawn at a time. I quickly checked the monster with the binoculars, and if they had the crown I needed, easy, start the quest, hunt them, get the crown. But if they didn't, I just left and came back until they either did have a crown or despawned. A majority of the monster roster can be at the Wounded Hollow, except for the Apex monsters and the Guardian monsters, which only spawn at their specific locales. While I was primarily trying to get the gold crowns, I also slowly worked on other trophies at the same time.
That's another quest complete.
I wanted to try and stack a couple of them because I just like doing that when I can. And in this case, the trophies were Capture Pro, a silver trophy for capturing 50 monsters, top of the food chain, a bronze trophy for hunting the Apex monsters 50 times, and lastly, Established Hunter, another bronze trophy for getting to Hunter rank 100. With those trophies done, I could focus solely on getting the remaining gold crowns that I needed. Like I said earlier, I was actually enjoying crown hunting. It kind of gave me the same feeling that shiny hunting does in Pokemon games. This is my shiny Giratina. I think he is pretty fucking awesome. And I just wanted to show him off, so moving on. Not only were the binoculars a great help, but the odds of running into gold crowns was definitely increased from what it was in World, because in the hundreds of hours I played that game, I never ran into a gold crown. At least not one that was either from an event quest or that I was purposely looking for. Maybe I ran into a silver from time to time, but never a gold. In Wilds though, there were a couple of times where I finished the hunt, and at the end screen, I was really surprised to see that there were actually gold crowns. And it was a cool surprise because I didn't know. I was just doing the hunt maybe for parts or making progress for another trophy. So for me, both finding the crowns and the surprise of when a crown would pop up randomly was just a fun experience all around. Little by little, I was chipping away at all the crowns, and after I had almost all the monsters that spawn in the Wounded Hollow, I was just missing a few stragglers. I started focusing on the monsters that only spawn on specific maps, like the Apexes and Guardians. Fortunately, my previous hunting left me with only one Apex crown I was missing, a giant crown New Udra. But now I had to do a slightly different method, because leaving and returning only works at the Wounded Hollow. In the other maps, it's still simple, just requires a few more steps. First, rest to set a save point. Second, check if any of the monsters that spawned have a crown. Third, if none of them did, return to the main menu without saving. And lastly, go back into the game and repeat 2 and 3 until a monster has a crown. Pretty simple. By doing this, I got the remaining crowns that I needed, until there was only one of each left. Guardian Doshagama for the giant crown, and Guardian Fulgur Anjanath for the miniature crown. With the biggest grind out of the way, there was only one trophy left for the platinum, and it was Hunters United Forever, which required me to complete 100 quests in multiplayer. 100 hunts isn't too bad, but unfortunately because of all the solo play I did beforehand, there wasn't really much for me to grind towards. I already had the best gun lances I could have, and armor pieces would have only taken 1 or 2 hunts to get what I needed. So I decided why not try to make the hunts a little bit more fun by having a bingo board on the side. I wasn't going to try and finish the whole board, but I thought it'd be fun to see how many of these things could actually happen by the end. During all the multiplayer quests, I was able to finish 1 row and get a bingo. Obviously within 100 quests, I saw all the weapons. I feel like I saw Insect Glaive the least. I'm just going off from my memory. I didn't bother to fact check myself or anything. I just don't remember seeing Insect Glaive that much. For the quest already done square, if I joined an ongoing hunt and couldn't make it in time to at least get 1 hit off before the monster dies, I counted that. I think that's fair. Someone other than me used the dung pod, and this happened pretty early on. I honestly didn't know if other people carried dung pods with them, so I couldn't gauge if this was going to be too easy of a square, but whatever, you know, it's just for fun anyway. I completed the double tempered hunt against the Congalala and Lalabarina. Not much else to say there. Lastly, for the bingo, failed a quest. And I think there are only like 3 failed quests if I remember correctly. Unsurprisingly, 2 of them happened while fighting a tempered Gore Magala, but the actual first fail was from Jindahad, which is also not too big of a surprise to be honest. However, how it happened actually made me laugh because I joined the hunt and made my way to the others, but as soon as I get there I get hit and the failed quest immediately pops up, which stunned me for a second because in my head I'm thinking there's no way he one-shotted me. That's not possible. And then my character stands up and I realize, oh, it was someone else that died. I was close to getting 2 more bingos, but I never saw a team wipe. Maybe if I did a few more Jin hunts that could have happened. Also, no one ever failed a monster ride, so that's too bad. Or good, maybe. No one should be failing that. 2 squares that I really wanted to get but just never happened were the all Gunlance team and everyone posing after the hunt. I was so close to both of them, but thanks to one weeb and Lisa's boring bitch ass, I didn't get them unfortunately.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
By the way, can you motherfuckers do anything at the end of hunts? Use a message, take a pose, do something. You're not a fucking speedrunner. You can take the time to do the bare minimum and socialize with your fellow hunters for some brief camaraderie, you know? I'm not asking for much. Pointless rant aside. To finish off the 100, I had an investigation saved from my last one, which had Ebony Odogaron and Fulgur Anjanath. World was my first Monster Hunter game, and I was so happy to see that 2 of my favorites made it into Wilds. So I wanted them to be the hunt that got me my Platinum trophy. And with that, Monster Hunter Wilds Platinum Trophy is mine. I had a fantastic time with Monster Hunter Wilds. I can't wait for when they drop more content and the eventual expansion, which hopefully adds another platinum like what happened with World. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on it, or Wilds in general, by leaving a comment. I would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe. But most importantly, thanks for watching, and be safe. Bye-bye.